I recently bought a black electric device at a garage sale for $5, and I'm curious about what it is. It comes in a cheap suitcase lined with silk and has insertable glass tubes that glow with purple ultraviolet light when turned on. There's a small yellow dial that increases the electricity flowing through the tubes, and the device delivers a mild shock when in use. There are 4 attachments included, but one is missing. The device you've acquired is known as a violet ray machine, an early 20th century electrotherapy apparatus once believed to treat a wide array of ailments. Invented by renowned engineer Nikola Tesla, this device is essentially a portable form of the Tesla coil designed to generate high-frequency, low-current electricity. Violet ray machines typically consist of a handheld unit connected to various glass electrodes. When activated, these electrodes emit a violet-colored glow and deliver a mild electrical current to the skin. Proponents claim that these devices could treat conditions ranging from rheumatism and nervous disorders to skin issues like acne and baldness. The popularity of violet ray machines peaked between the 1920s and 1930s, with numerous manufacturers producing them for both professional and home use. Despite their widespread use, the medical efficacy of violet ray machines was never scientifically validated. By the 1950s, regulatory actions, including lawsuits and device seizures by the United States government, led to their decline. In 1951, a libel action in the United States successfully argued that these devices were misbranded and ineffective for the numerous conditions they purported to treat. I came across this utensil in an antique store. It has a slit in the middle, but the edges of the slit are dull, so it doesn't seem to be a peeler. Does anyone know what this could be? The item you discovered is a sugar holder used in the preparation of Feuerzangenbowle, a traditional German punch that has been enjoyed for over 200 years, especially during festive gatherings. The name Feuerzangenbowle translates to fire tongs punch, referencing the tongs originally used to hold the sugar loaf over the mulled wine. Today, a specialized metal grate, like the one you found, is placed atop a vessel containing heated red wine spiced with ingredients such as cinnamon sticks, cloves, star anise, and orange peel. A sugar loaf, known as Zuckerhut, is positioned on this grate, soaked with high-proof rum, and then ignited. As the sugar caramelizes, it melts and drips into the wine below, creating a rich and flavorful punch. The origins of Feuerzangenbowle can be traced back to German student societies in the 18th century, where a similar flaming concoction called Krambambuli was popular. Over time, this evolved into the version we know today. The drink's cultural significance grew even further after the release of the 1944 German film Die Feuerzangenbowle, which remains a beloved classic. This punch is more than just a drink, it's a festive experience. The dramatic flames and sweet aroma create a warm and inviting atmosphere, making it a cherished tradition at Christmas markets and New Year's celebrations across Germany.
Let's take a quick break for a moment. What do you think of the new voiceover in this video? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I came across a wooden machine mounted on the wall of a historical building. It has several dials that all seem to move in sync. There's a knob below, and when it's pushed, the dials jump, but turning, it doesn't seem to do anything. The dials are numbered, and some are labeled with terms like parlor, ladies' entrance, and bathroom. Does anyone know what this device is or what it was used for? The wooden machine you described is a servant's bell call indicator, a common feature in wealthy homes during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This device allowed household staff to be summoned efficiently from different parts of the home. The labeled dials, such as parlor, ladies' entrance, and bathroom, corresponded to specific rooms showing the servants where their presence was needed. When someone in the household activated the system, either by pulling a cord or pressing a button, the dials on the indicator would move, signaling the call's origin. These systems became essential as houses grew larger and servant areas were physically separated from the family's living spaces. In earlier times, the Great Hall of a manor served as a shared space where lords and their staff interacted directly. By the 18th century, however, house designs began to move servants out of sight, making communication systems like this one indispensable. Initially, these systems used mechanical bell pulls connected to a network of wires and levers. Pulling a cord caused a bell to ring and moved an indicator to display the location of the call. The board you described likely dates from the early 1900s, when these mechanical systems were at their peak of popularity. Electric versions of these devices began to replace mechanical ones later in the 19th century, adding features such as lights or flipping flags. The labels on the dials reflect the growing complexity of household management in this period. Separate entrances for women, parlors, and even bathrooms indicate the structured and hierarchical nature of life in affluent homes. I found a lightweight, shallow silver scoop with a Bakelite handle in an Italian villa. The design is very fancy, and it seems like it might have been used for ashes, but it doesn't appear to have seen much use. There's some polish residue on it, so it might be made of silver. The scoop feels too small to be practical for most things. The item you've discovered is likely a vintage silver-plated table butler scoop, a utensil commonly used in formal dining settings from the early to mid-20th century. These scoops were designed to remove crumbs from the table between courses, maintaining cleanliness and proper etiquette during meals. The Bakelite handle suggests that the scoop was manufactured between the 1920s and 1940s, as Bakelite was a popular material for utensil handles during this period due to its durability and moldability. While it may seem too small for practical uses today, the design was intentional. Its shallow shape allowed for the efficient collection of crumbs without disrupting the arrangement of table settings. These tools were a standard feature in wealthy European homes, particularly in Italy and France, where formal dining customs were strictly observed. I have a small object labeled Came Jr., found during a Boy Scout camping trip on a beach at Lake Erie over 50 years ago. It was already very old and rusty at the time. The object is about 15 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, and 8 centimeters tall, with a removable lid. Does anyone know what this could have been used for? The object you found is the lower section of a portable camp stove known as the Game Jr., manufactured by the Taylor and Boggess Foundry Company of Cleveland, Ohio. Founded in 1864 by Harvey Taylor, this company specialized in iron castings and hardware. The Game Jr. model was designed primarily as a sad iron heater, a device used to heat irons for pressing clothes. However, its portable nature made it versatile for various heating and cooking purposes, especially in settings like camping. Constructed with solid cast iron reservoirs finished with a durable, varnished coating, the stove featured sheet brass burners and tin chimneys. The frame was made of cast iron and it had small windows to monitor the flame. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, such stoves were essential household items, especially in rural areas. I came across a small wooden tool with a tiny mirror attached to a sliding wooden arm. It was found in a box of belongings left by my mother-in-law's father, who was an artist and spent a lot of time on his boat off the coast of Florida. The tool is approximately 8 centimeters long, 2.5 centimeters wide, and 2 centimeters thick, weighing 17 grams. It feels like teak wood and has no writing or symbols on it. The object you found is a vintage tool from the 1970s, designed for cleaning and inspecting record player needles. These tools were essential for maintaining the quality of vinyl playback, as a clean needle ensured optimal sound reproduction and extended the lifespan of both the stylus and the records. This type of tool typically featured a magnifying mirror on one side, allowing users to closely inspect the condition of the needle for dust, debris, or damage that could impact sound quality. On the opposite side, it often featured a small brush designed to remove dust and dirt from the stylus, keeping it clean and fully functional. The sliding wooden arm provided easy access to the needle, making the maintenance process more convenient and efficient. Tools like this were a common accessory among audiophiles and music enthusiasts, helping them achieve the best possible sound experience from their vinyl collections. I found an object that's about 120 centimeters long. Most of it is made of metal, but the poles are wooden. It has a hand crank that turns every cog, and the only visible marking says it was patented on August 20th, 1901. The object you found is a wire fence machine, patented on August 20th, 1901 by John Albert, a resident of St. Charles, Illinois. This innovative device was designed to aid in the creation of wire fences, a common necessity for enclosing farmland during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The patent details a unique mechanism that streamlined the twisting and tensioning of wires, reducing labor and increasing efficiency for farmers and fence builders. The design minimizes friction and ensures consistent tension, allowing for the precise alignment of wires along fence posts. During the 19th century, as farmland expanded in America, fencing became essential to manage livestock and protect crops. Devices such as John Albert's machine made it easier and faster to build sturdy wire fences, which were more durable and cost-effective than wooden alternatives. I found an unusual tool at work. It has a metal hook that spins inside a wooden handle. The tool is approximately 18 centimeters long, with no inscriptions or markings anywhere on it. The object you found is a manual tool designed for twisting wire in various applications. Its design is described in a patent issued on January 18, 1921. This invention was created by Adalmer Bates of Chicago, Illinois, who was associated with the Bates Valve Bag Company. The patent details a simple yet effective mechanism for twisting wire. The tool features a wooden handle, a metal sleeve, and a rotating crank with a hook at the end. To use it, a wire loop is attached to the hook, wrapped around the object, and the handle is spun to twist and secure the wire. This tool was developed for use in a variety of industries, including construction, packaging, and agriculture, where securely tying materials is essential. Its compact size makes it easy to carry and operate with one hand. I found a plastic card with smaller sliding cards inside and the words "memo cards" written on it. It has moving parts and appears to be an organizer of some kind. There are two small windows, one on the top and one on the bottom, which display numbers as the slides move underneath. Does anyone know what this is and how it might have been used? The plastic card you found, labeled memo cards, is a vintage device designed for securely storing pins or passwords. Here's how it works. To store a pin, start by assigning a label, such as bank, and writing it in space 1. Next, choose two unique numbers, let's say 10 and 7, and slide the card so that these numbers appear in the top and bottom windows. Then, in column 1, write your bank pin vertically, one character per box. For another pin, like email, write email in space 2 and pick a different pair of numbers, such as 8 and 3. Slide the card so that 8 and 3 are displayed in the windows, and write your email pin in column 2. To keep the data secure, fill all unused squares in the columns with random characters. This way, the actual pins are hidden among unrelated symbols. All you need to remember are the specific numbers associated with each label. I found a mystery item in a shed. It has wooden handles and a metal top. The top two protrusions have small hooks on the other side, and when the handles are brought together, the central piece pushes upward. There are no markings on it. The object you found is an antique tool known as a mender bender, used primarily for repairing barbed wire fences and wooden slat snow fences in the early 1900s. These fences were commonly found along highways and rural roads, with slats held together by interlaced wires. When a slat broke, this tool made it possible to replace the damaged section without disassembling the entire fence. To use the tool, the handles were opened and the hooks were placed over the fence wire to create tension. Squeezing the handles pulled the wire taut, allowing a new slat to be securely attached. A small piece of wire was wrapped around the fence wire to hold the slat in place. The tool required effort and coordination, often involving multiple people, and was a time-consuming process. This type of tool gradually became obsolete as new fencing methods emerged. I found a stretchy metal bracelet with a sharp hanging blade attached. The words, "United States Patent Applied For," are stamped on the hanging rod. The sharp bit at the end moves on the pin. It was donated to a creative reuse center, and none of us know what it is. The item you found is a vintage wrist-worn thread holder. The rod serves as a spindle for the thread spool, with the sharp bit acting as a stopper to secure the spool in place. The mobility of the sharp bit on the pin allows for easy replacement of spools. Wrist thread holders became popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, especially among tatting and embroidery enthusiasts. They provided a practical solution for managing thread, allowing crafters to maintain a steady workflow without constant adjustments. I found successive white target markers attached to the train tracks at a train stop for a light rail train in Sweden. They are mounted on both rails, perpendicular to the train's direction of movement. Each marker has a tiny through hole in the center and appears to be made of a polymer with a white paper target on it. Does anyone know what these markers are and their purpose? The white target markers you observed on the train tracks are part of an optical measurement system used to monitor track movement and alignment. These markers act as reference points for precise measurements, ensuring the safety and stability of the railway infrastructure. Surveyors use specialized instruments, such as total stations, to measure the exact location of each marker regularly. The data collected helps track changes over time, allowing engineers to detect shifts or deformations in the track structure and respond proactively to potential issues. The primary use of these markers is in areas undergoing construction or maintenance, where there is a risk of track movement. They are also employed in regions prone to environmental factors that might affect the tracks. In the last video, I asked you to guess what the small ceramic tubes, hollow on the inside, might have been used for. Many of you came up with interesting and creative ideas, and some of you were absolutely correct. These ceramic tubes are actually porcelain insulators from an old knob and tube electrical wiring system used to protect wires in homes built in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Thank you to everyone who participated and shared your guesses. A special shout out to user Donchunialio for being the first to identify it correctly. All right, it's time for another mystery item. Look at this small ceramic pot. It has a lid that goes almost all the way to the bottom inside and a single hole on its side. What do you think it could have been used for? Leave your guesses in the comments, and I'll reveal the answer in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Your support motivates me to create more content. See you next time.